Hi, welcome to the museum here in Janesville, Wisconsin. Here's a picture of, here's the miracle that we were talking about earlier. Here she is as a mount, and we also have the fence behind, and also gifts all through here that have been given.
This is like many years of collection, right? How many years was it that all these things were collected?
This is probably well over 10 years of collection, or 20 years of collection. But there was still things left on the fence up until even after she had passed on. So, and they usually stayed out on the fence for 4 days or 7. I can't remember which one. And then they were brought in, and then they were preserved for history, so that people will be able to know about her. I apologize for blocking her, but there she is. So.
Who brought the skull in?
I'm not sure about the skull. I know we have the peace pole here that is in the different languages. May peace prevail on earth. They're all over the world, these peace poles, in different sizes.
I can't see what it says. That says it's a little dark in here.
Yeah, it says may peace prevail on earth. So
does every side say that somehow?
Yeah, they have different languages that they have on the peace poles. So.
Okay. So now, can you tell the story of the statue here?
Which statue?
Right here.
That's the Mount of Miracles. So she was brought back after she was mounted. And you can see where her foot had operation on. So.
And these were all gifts that people brought out here, and a lot of them were from the fence, right? And then other things they just brought to the Heiders and gave the Heiders gifts too, didn't they?
Most of it was always put out on the fence, from what I remember.
I took quite a few pictures of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
They've even done articles on the unsolved mysteries that have been done, that were given, and so.
Yeah, I saw the scarf you were just pointing to about the Dalai Lama.
Received from the Dalai Lama, yes. When the Dalai Lama was here.
There's a lot of things here.
Yes, there are.
Stuffed animals, buffaloes.
And that's the original fence on the back there.
Oh, back there?
Yep, that's the original fence in the back.
And it goes, you have it all along the wall here.
Behind Miracle. That's right.
Hi, Miracle. Yeah. A lot of scarves. There's a
lot of prayer ties. Yep, and shawls that were there and all that.
Even a birdhouse.
Yeah.
Gourd birdhouse and a shield. It's a nice shield.
And they got a picture of the original fence of it up on the top of the wall back there.
They might be hard to get to.
Yeah. That's all right.
It's hard to get it. There was one on the counter there that I took a picture of. And then Sire too. I took a picture of Sire with a scarf too. Would you be interested in talking about that?
That was one of the prophecies that Miracle's father would give down his life. And so that was one of the things that happened soon after she was born.
Okay, let's go over there. Let's go over and see what that.
And one of the reasons we're here is it's the anniversary of Miracle's birth. It's her 21st, it's been 21 years since she's been born. What's very significant about Miracle was she was the first white buffalo born in 60 years. And one of the nice things about her is that she turned from white to black to red to yellow and to brown. And most buffaloes don't ever turn like that. Most of them stay the one color that they are. one of the unique things is there's also been 2 other white buffaloes, one other female and one male white buffalo that were born on this farm. In addition to black buffaloes that have been born here, where most of the time buffaloes are born red. So she's a symbol of peace and fulfilled a Lakota prophecy on that that she was the first one to be born and that she would turn all of those colors. They say that she's to turn back white again, and at that time there'll be 1,000 years of peace on the land. But that's one of the reasons that we're really happy here to bring this. And this is the grave site of her. She's buried underneath here. And her father's buried next to her.
Yeah, and the stones for the colors, can you explain to people about the...
Well, they have the colors for Miracle. All the different indigenous tribes have different colors for different directions. And the ones for Miracle, red represents the east, the yellow is the south, black, and then white. And that's the way that these colors were here at the farm. So.
And that was how she went too. Tell about when she changed, how she changed, and when she changed.
She changed the 4 different colors. If you do go to Miracle's website, you'll be able to see the pictures of her and also the dates of when she had changed. But it was shortly after, probably a couple years after, when those changes happened. And actually, this November will be the marking of the last change, which was to the yellow, and that'll be in November, and that'll be the it'll be the 20th anniversary of that.
And her babies, do they still live here?
She's had 4 babies, and I'm not quite sure on if they're living here. I think they are, if I remember correctly, but I haven't been up into the herd in a while. So, yeah. But and right now the herd is in the back part of the property.
So. I'm sure we'll see Val Heider in a bit.
Yes.
Maybe ask her, and she can let us know if she's
Right.
So I'm sure people will be interested in knowing when she had her babies and what their names are.
There is I don't have that information off the top of my head right now. I know Lady Miracle was one, Millennium was another, Miracle 4 was another one, and I apologize, I don't have it. I have it written down, but I don't have it right here. There was the information was in the Rock River Times 2 weeks ago. Has all of that information of the birth dates and when she was born, and that was an article, and that's I think it's rrtimes.com is where you can actually get that. We have that information there. So
yeah, I know people come out here every year on her birthday, don't they, and bring tobacco and sing songs.
Sing songs. There's people that'll come and drum. There's people that come and pray. We have people that come from Ohio, New York, and it's people that they come and they just come for peace, and they recognize the peace that Miracle brings to the people. So there's been over 500,000 people that have come, including the Dalai Lama. Almost all the face of the world have been here. And that they've sent representatives with information about how in the different faiths that they had known about this happening. So it's been pretty amazing to see that many people come for the significance of the miracle.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have talked about witnessing miracles when they were out here, with Grandpa Jerry, Heider's father, who used to guide people around out here. And we were watching and we were talking, to the buffalo, and we were watching and we were talking to her. And then all of a sudden, she stood up and the other buffaloes came around her. There were 3 other ones, and they put their rear ends together and made a medicine wheel across, like a medicine wheel. And they each had their nose pointing to a different direction. And so we thought that was pretty special. And then there was another day I was standing over here and there was some buffalo that kept staring at me. So I walked up to her and was talking to her, and the next thing I looked, all the buffalo had formed a circle with their heads in the center of a circle, this big circle, So I mean, I've seen these things that people have talked about that they had witnessed years ago when people used to come out here and drink tobacco and pray, and then other people from other cultures, other countries were coming out here and doing things. So it was really special.
It was interesting because we've had the Tibetan monks that came here, and they were at that time they came out for Miracle Second Chance, which was the 3rd white buffalo. It was a male buffalo that was born. And when we were up there, the Miracle Second Chance was unique because people would come to see him, and they'd be in the back, and if you'd offer tobacco or pray, and they prayed, they did their own chants, and you should have seen him. He came running down the hill, bouncing like a dog. A lot of times the front end coming up. It was really a neat thing to see. But before that, he didn't show his face until people prayed. And once they prayed and they came with a good heart, and then he'd come down and visit them. So, because he was living in the back pasture. So, it's been very interesting. The second white buffalo that was born, her name was Fulfillment, and she died after 4 days. She got tangled in some grapevines.
Oh.
So, and she's in the museum, and so is Miracle in the museum too. So her hide is in the museum. So that's kind of a unique thing about this is there's a museum with all the artifacts, including the original fence, with all of the prayers that people put on the fence. So Miracle's a symbol of peace, and the things that I've learned by watching and being here through the years is that I've noticed that principles of peace are walk without judgment of the color, the skin, the gender, or their orientation. If it's economic, social, or sexual. You can add on whatever you want for the judgment of that, but look at the people for their hearts, and people come here and everybody they come in peace, and that's what we have to have. If we started doing that in this world, we would have a lot more peace.
You know that she was representation of the 4 colors of the 4 directions of the medicine wheel, and that meaning including the whole world, all nations,
right?
Everything.
The 4 races that there's 5. We have brown people, we have red people, yellow people, white people, and black people. And she represented all those colors. I've never seen any other animal turn these colors. And if she can incorporate that peace, if we can walk without judgment of all of our different uniquenesses, we all have red blood or blue blood. Blue blood before the oxygen hits it. When the oxygen hits it, red blood. We're all humans. And the more that we take the judgment out of the life, I've seen when you do that, that the suffering stops. And that's really the key, is to do that, and do it day by day, and things seem to work real well then.
She was also represented how we need to care for Mother Earth, her being a female, how she's being cared for, and how she is caring for her young. She was an example on how we are to be.
And that was one of the unique things. The Heiders really have treated her so well. She was well taken care of. She ended up having to have an operation on her foot because her foot got infected, and so they provided real well care for her. And most people wouldn't have spent the money that they did to honor her. And in addition to that, the way that the Heiders have opened up their home and their land for people to come and pray. It's a very unique place. There's special energies here, and it's just a nice place to come and on the birthday, and come and see her and come visit. And her birthday is on August 20th. Of course, that's today. Yeah. And she was born in 1994, and she died September of, it would have been 2004. So it was about a month after her 10th birthday that she passed.
You used to help with the buffalo out here, didn't you?
I've only helped with the tours and things like that. I've helped with Grandpa Jerry, and I've done stuff like that. So I never did the feeding of the buffalo. That's all Dave's job.
Oh, okay.
So I mainly helped with the tours, or I'd help out, whatever they'd ask me to do. But usually it was just to help out with the people and coming here. So, and I've been doing that since 1996. So I used to live on the back half of the farm. I had built a house back there, and now I'm about 7 miles from here.
Yeah, I think it was really great that you did that. You volunteered all your time, and I'm sure the Heiders really appreciated it, and the people who came out here for the tours. I think that's how we met.
That is how we met. I think it was originally here on the farm.
Yeah, we've been friends for years.
Yes.
Yeah, many years.
That's where the principles of peace that I learned from here was to the examples that were that the Heiders had set here for people, to let them just be who they are and come pray and to be.
Yeah, it's not set up like it used to be.
No.
Where people could come and they want to see a museum, or they could just walk around the farm and look at animals and toilets, or open it up on particular days where people can come in and look around.
Yeah, usually on the birthday is the day that they have that right now. It could change, but that's just right now. It's from 10 to 4 on her birthday is when they have the farm open. So if you want to come and see, that would be a time on her birthday. It's still a working farm, and they still sell buffalo meat. So there's so it's kind of that way. If you want to get buffalo meat, you can buy it here, or you can see Dave. He's a lot of times he's up at in Madison at the farmers market.
Oh, yeah.
He vends up there too. So that'd be the other place that you depends when they have buffalo. So, I mean, they used to do a lot. They used to sell a lot more. They kind of want they're down a little bit. They're not producing as much right now, just by choice. You know, they're getting up in age too. So, you know, it gets to a point where you can farm, and they farm for what they need. You know, and so I guess that's a good way to say it.
Yeah. I was looking. Thank you. I was looking at the horses over there.
Yeah, they have some beautiful horses, don't they?
Yeah. I saw the babies. And why don't you look at me? You know, one of the little ones.
Yes.
And then I was overlooking at the ducks in the pond, and I remember she used to have a lot of peacocks out here too. And there used to be a lot of geese and some ducks and geese in the ponds out there. Did they just show up here and just decide to live here or what?
No, the geese, those are vals and boobs. That's part of their farm. So they fed them, and same thing with all the animals. It's part of their farm.
Yeah.
And just blessed that they open up their farm for us to come and play.
I was looking at the goats and they were looking up at the camera at me. I don't know if they were looking at me, but they were smiling, and when they were smiling, it looked like they were posing for their pictures to be taken. It was really cute. Very cute. Thank you. Do you have anything that you think people need to know? Anything else about Miracle?
I think if there's any, you know, you can always follow up through through your website too. If people have questions, we can always answer them. But about Miracle, no, I think we're pretty much covered. You know, the teachings that I've learned from them. I know in my life, if I wanted people to understand something, I always tell people to be, to breathe. The first rule is take care of self.
Yeah.
So, and I'd say it in the order of take care of self, be, and breathe. And that would be the message that I'd have for them. But thank you for coming down to the farm today so that we could at least share this with the people about Miracle right off the Rock River. The Rock River is just across the street from the farm. So again, it's part of the waterway that we like to do the teachings of and talk about the different waterways. And here's a very sacred spot. So thank you. Thanks for having me, and I'm sure we'll see you again in another one of the series.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, you've been on them with me before.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for taking your time, you know, and telling me that you guys were out here again. It reminded me because I had forgotten, and like, oh, I forgot again. So I'm glad you reminded me. And
I'm glad you were able to make it down here too. It's wonderful to see you.
I always have, a special feeling when I come out here, and I'm always glad when I go home that I did come out here. I haven't been out here for long, many years. I even wondered if I would lose my way here, but I didn't.
Right.
I'm here.
Nice.
So yeah, I really appreciate it. And one thing I wanted to mention is that I know that the birth of Miracle was also a message and a representation, as how we are all one, because she represents that circle of life, and within the universe, as to how we relate and how we're all related. So I just wanted to mention that when you think about Miracle, when you think about the white buffalo, remind yourself on how we are all one.
And I think that's a very important part. She turned up to us to help her turn to that next color, for us to walk without judgment of the different races. So when we do that, and we're able to do that and not be judgmental of the color of the skin, it's gonna help to bring that peace among our nations. And that's what we really need, is to have peace in the land. And part of that first step is to walk without judgment over the color of the skin. You know, and then to follow up with the other two is without the gender. Don't worry if you're a male or a female. Can I do a job because I'm a male and a female can't? I've always learned that I have sisters that can do a lot of things much better than I can. And even if it was a male-oriented task, and I know, or like when I grew up, all the females cooked. You know, I've been told I can cook real well. You know? Yeah,
you can.
You know, so and I don't need to be a female to do that. I'm a male. You know, and that's just an example. It's we have one of our friends, Grandpa Tom, that's sitting in the background here, and he's an excellent cook. You know, and so, but in the olden days, the women did that. You know, and so that's really what the message that I've learned, and then, you know, and then the other is the orientation. You name what the orientation is. Just because you got a lot of money or you don't have a lot of money, don't have judgment over that stuff.
When I first started my show with WIOU, which was March of 2013, tried to think of what I would name the show in. So I named it Mending the Hoop, and I named it that because I wanted to meet with many different people and do many different types of things, whether it's education, healing, whatnot. But it all, relates to mending that sacred hoop of life and teaching. So, and Miracle was the perfect example as to the teachings of the healing of the sacred hoop of life. So I just wanted to mention that.
And part of that purpose of healing that sacred hoop is through forgiveness and love. Without forgiveness and love, the healing won't happen. So that's how you're going to get that judgment out. That's how you're going to heal those things. You practice that forgiveness, because we're given all the good and bad from our parents and their parents. And you go back 7 generations, that's 500 people. All their good and bad and all their judgments. So if you can heal on some of those things you were taught, a lot of the bigotry is taught to people. It's a learned behavior, and if you can practice that forgiveness and love, they say you can heal your past generations. That's why we look at the babies all the time, like, ooh, good, a baby, maybe they can walk without that judgment, and they can practice that forgiveness and love. Thank you for giving your life and serving your purpose, by the way, that animal.
Well, I didn't kill it. I really wanted to, though.
Okay.
To fly.
Okay. I was just thanking it for giving its life, that's all.
I missed it,
Okay, good.
But that's good anyway. I don't want any of that on me.
That's right.
There was something that John Trudell said in one of his poem songs that he used to do. He used to write those poems and songs years ago. I think he still does. But it was something that he had said that stuck in my mind a lot, and it was about, kind of what you were talking about. This control behavior reacts as it's taught. So, like you were saying, by example, control behavior reacts as it's taught. So, yeah.
And that's how the healing, if you want to mend the hoop and you want to heal it, then start working within. Because that's where the healing really comes. If you're sitting there and saying, "Oh, I hope I can help somebody heal," that's not the case. You need to use your belief system, and you have to work on it inside, and that's where the healing will come. And it's only through forgiveness and love. And you talk to any of the ways of the religions, and they all have the same message. They don't. It's all about forgiveness and love, and not having the hate. Stop the hate. So I know it's kind of heavy to say it that way, but it is the truth.
Yeah.
It's the way for healing. It's part of mending the hoop. It's part of us getting the 1,000 years of peace on the land here. And the way we do that is like you were talking about. So.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on the show again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good day.
Good day, eh?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, which language do we use? Ours are the language.
I'll just say it the regular way. All my relations.